Hi everyone, I am Bob and this is another important topic in the English language. You're going to talk about the music. Well, by the end of this video, you're going to have a lot of information to answer different questions about art and especially about music. Let's get in. Okay, here we are in lesson 6 and in fact, we are going to talk about a beautiful art. Okay, I just call the story beautiful art. There are a lot of questions like these in examinations. They ask you to talk about the art. For instance, what do you know as an art? What do you think about art? Do you think it is necessary? Do you know anything as art? Or do you have any artistic taste? Do you do any art? What's your favorite art? Or a lot of questions like this. Well, when you read something about an art or some different kinds of arts, you're going to talk about it as easy as ABC, I believe, because you are ready to answer any questions and expand your ideas, talk about a lot of things, describe, explain things, connect things together, and talk. And this is very, very important ability. Well, this fluency comes from reading. The idea, the data that you need are all here in these lessons. I try to collect all important things for your information, the most important ones first. And little by little, we are going to talk about a lot of things in our different lessons. Let's read the lesson and then we talk about details later on. Latin music is very common in countries where people speak Spanish or Portuguese. However, people all over the world can enjoy it. This music comes from Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Salsa is one kind of Latin music. Big cities like Miami, New York, San Juan, Havana, and Panama City have their own kinds of salsa. So there are different kinds of salsa. Yes, it is very important to produce something interesting, something that you know in exams, because you have control on it. Latin music is a mixture of the European music and African music. It has a strong beat, boom, boom, boom. Many years ago, people played Latin music mostly on guitars with drums. I love both of them. But now, whole orchestras with lots of other instruments play it. Composers of Latin music express their feelings in their music. Sometimes they are very happy. Sometimes they are sad. Robin Blades and Juan Luis Guerra are two famous modern Latin American composers. They perform their own music with their own orchestras. Great. Well, there are some important information about different kinds of arts as well as music, which we really need to know to make a good connection to talk about. People who dance enjoy Latin music because it is easy to dance to. The beat is very strong. Dancers can move their whole bodies. They can dance alone or with someone. Other people enjoy listening to Latin music. Usually the words are in Spanish or Portuguese, but sometimes they are in English or another language. Many Latin songs have beautiful words, but if a person doesn't understand them, it's not important. A person can still enjoy the music. The sound is international. Perfect. So you can talk about it. A lot of different information we have. There are great data. And it is very easy to connect these things. Let's go for the details. Latin is, well, an adjective here for music. When we have two nouns, one after the other, the first noun is going to turn into an adjective for the second noun. It is a rule in English language. Maybe you say that Latin is a name, and it is a proper noun, of course, yes. It can work as an adjective with such a kind of a rule. It's very common in countries. When you're talking about common things, you're talking about the different things. It means you need to bring these in plural form. Where is a connecting word? Is connecting the first sentence to the second sentence. Where people speak Spanish or Portuguese. Well, Spanish and Portuguese. We can use these words for two reasons. The first reason is that we are going to call a kind of a special language. I speak Spanish, I speak Portuguese. Sometimes you can use them for nationality too. I mean, people do generally use these words to show their nationalities too, and it is very, very natural and common. I am Spanish, I am Portuguese. Well, however, yeah, this is a very nice, important conjunction. When we have, however, in the middle of the sentence, it is in fact connecting the first sentence to the second sentence. Maybe it seems that it is in the beginning of a sentence, yes, but when we calculate these two connections, we understand that we need, however, with capital letter, ending sentence before it, and a comma right here, connecting to the however. Is talking about the contrast. However, people all over the world is adverb of place. It just came before the main verb and the helping verb. This is the helping verb, HV. This is MV, main verb. I just put a noun on them, you know. It comes from me. I made them. All over the world is adverb of place, and I am going to emphasize something. That's why I bring them after the subject, the starter of the sentence, people. People is the subject. People all over the world can enjoy it. This music comes from, come from. I come from Spain. I come from Italy. I come from China. I am from China. It's possible too. It is an idiom. So a music can come from a place. Comes from Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and look at these commas here. The first one from the place and a comma. The second one also we have a comma. The third one and the last one we have got comma with and here. Comma and South America. Sasa, we need to write it in capital letter. It is a proper noun, of course. It's one kind of Latin music. It means that there are some more kinds of this. Big cities like Miami, again, we have got the comma here, and the comma here, San Juan. And here the last one is Panama. Look at this one. Here we have again San Juan, Havana, comma, and Panama City have their own kinds. So it is not just one kind of salsa. But salsa is here a common noun. It is written in capital letter in the beginning of the sentence and a small letter, the last word of the sentence. Okay, this is the capital letter, this is the small letter. Okay, there are some important idioms too, like come from. Here we have Latin music is a mixture of something. Something is a mixture of something. A mixture of, for instance, this food is a mixture of something and something. So there must be more than one thing. Here we need and as in conjunction. The first noun, okay, plus the second noun. Here we have European music, African music. It has strong beats. Oh, strong is an adjective. And beat, of course, is a noun. Many years ago, the adverb of time comes in the beginning to emphasize something. This is the rule in English language. People played, finished. Latin music mostly on guitars with drums. Be careful. Here we need to use a preposition on with, here, drums. On guitars with drums. Do not say by guitars or by drums. No. This is exactly exam questions can come in a text and they give it to you. Okay, they ask you to put a preposition here and you may think that you need to bring by, but it is not correct. Be careful. But now whole orchestras, I mean, there are a lot of different kinds of orchestras with lots of other instruments. When you say lots, we need to put the verb into plural. Play it. They are very happy. And sometimes they are sad. You can say they are very sad. And we have got here two people, Robin Blaze, Juan Luis Guerra, okay, are two famous modern Latin American composers. Composers are those people who write music. Composers. They perform, okay, they do. Perform here means do, similar, not really the same. Do their own music with their own orchestras. Great. It's very important information. I'm saying it again. You need to rewrite the paragraphs. Think about the paragraphs, and here we have everything somehow under the control, okay? People who dance enjoy Latin music because it is easy to dance to. If you have a preposition here, be careful, you really need, okay, to fill the blanks with to. Dance to, easy to, dance to. When we have two parts of the sentence, like here, it is a grammatical important structure. It is easy, okay? If you want to talk about a verb, you need to bring it with full infinitive. I mean, with to. It is easy, okay, to go there. It is easy to dance. Okay, it is easy to listen. It is not easy to listen to everyone. Yes, here we have, because it's easy to dance to it, but we do not need to say it again. It's clear. The beat is very strong. Dancers. We have the helping verb and the main verb. Okay, H, helping verb, HV and MV. Yeah. Their whole bodies. Do you remember why we have body and Y turns into I and we have ES? Because the letter before Y here is consonant, is not a vowel. The vowel A, E, I, O, U. Do you remember? When we do not have A, E, I, O, U before Y, we can turn the Y into I and add ES. Very simple. Making simple singular nouns into plural. They can dance alone or with someone, your friends. Other people enjoy listening. After enjoy, we can bring the verb in different structures, like gerund. The gerund is a part of the grammar rules that can turn into verbs, okay, as a noun. They come as a noun. Listening to Latin music, usually we have the adverb of frequency in the beginning of a sentence with a capital letter without comma. Be careful, we do not have comma here. But in some other emphatic forms of writing, different adverbs, you see that there is a comma, okay? The words are in Spanish. When you're talking about a language, you need to bring in, like in Spanish, in English, in Chinese, in Korean, in Japanese, in German, in Italian. When you say in, it means in that language. Or Portuguese. Okay, if you have two languages, Spanish and Portuguese, you just need one preposition for both of them. You do not need to repeat in again with Portuguese. Words are in Spanish or Portuguese, not in Portuguese, not necessary. But sometimes here we have again and the adverb of the frequency almost in the beginning of the sentence, but it is just a connecting sentence. We do not need to put sometimes with a capital letter with S. No, it is not like usually. There are in English, here we have again in Spanish or Portuguese, in English or another language. Many Latin songs. There are not one, there are not two or three, there are many. Have beautiful words, but if a person does not understand them, it is not important. Well, the if clause, it's a kind of a conditional, of course. A person can still enjoy it. This word still makes very perfect sense. It looks like an adverb of frequency. It follows the rules and it is very easy to follow. Enjoy the music. The sound is international. Great. If you have problem pronouncing words, try to separate that word into some letters. Inter Milan, perfect. Nation and nation, international, 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 easy, international. Okay, the sound is international. The sound is the starter of the sentence, is the main verb, and international is the only word in complement. The finishing part of the sentence. Okay, we can ask different kinds of question here from a friend. Okay, what do you know as an art? Look at it. What do you know as an art? Well, you can say that I know things as an art because I can connect with them. I can hear them like music. I can see them like painting or sculptures or any different kinds of arts. There are so many beautiful kinds of arts, you know, that a lot of countries are trying to produce. There are a lot of different artists around the world. And then you have the idea of the music. When you are asked to talk about something, what do you know as an art? Say something that I can hear, okay? You can say, I can hear, or I can, well, somehow see, I can touch, okay, hear or touch, or all of them. Easy. I can hear, I can listen to it. Okay, for instance, and say, would you please talk about an art that you are interested in? Yes, this is a very great. And would you please talk about? Talk about anything, okay? Talk about an art that you are interested in. Okay, you can start talking about music and go for some effects of the music. Okay, maybe the person asks you, what kind of music do you like that you are interested in? This is very important. What kind of music would you like? You can say it. What kind of music would you like? And you are going to explain the Latin music. Yeah, this is very, very tricky way. Of course, you have already prepared everything, and then you talk to your friends or you go to exams. When you are going to take an exam, you really need to have a lot of information. You need to listen to these kinds of stories a lot, as well as try to rewrite them, think about them, somehow adding some of the things that you like. Sometimes you need to, well, forget about some parts that you don't think it is necessary to talk about. But if you want to make it short and perfect, you really need to think about the details, because the more information you have, the easier it is to talk about things, anything, about the art, about the sport, about the international affairs, about any social matters, about education. There are hundreds of the titles, topics, and subjects that we can talk about, but it is very important to read about them, to think about them at first, and then we try to write about them, talk with our friends, make these things organized, put them in order, how to talk about things. The order and organization that we have in our mind is going to help us to make things faster. Yes, you really need to make an organization, because this organization is going to divide a lot of different kinds of stories, but a lot of different kinds of data. Little by little, you're going to make this organization in your mind, in your imagination, because you really need to have a great and a strong information to go for exams, especially. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Do not forget to hit the like and comment. I am waiting for you. See you next session. Bye.